Rebel and I are outside right now. I have these dried hydrangeas from, I don't know, about 2 or 3 years ago. And I am hitting them with some spray paint because it's a gray, gloomy day. I'm in Mississippi, zone 8A. It's February, I think the 20th, 21st, something like that. And we've had a couple of warm days. In fact, right now it's 68 degrees. But it's about to rain. It's supposed to rain in the next couple of hours. And then the weather's supposed to get cold again. I don't think for like a real long time. And it's not supposed to be as bad as it was when we had the ice. But it's still supposed to be cold, like in the 20s at night. So I am not really doing anything in my yard, in my flower beds. I haven't even blown the leaves out of the flower beds this year from last fall until now. So everything just kind of looks sort of bad. And you know, with the ice storm, winter storm that we had, we have a lot of broken branches. And anyway, so things just really don't look the best. But it is still winter. It's the end of February. Things are not supposed to be looking the best. So I just have to keep reminding myself of that. But right now, I'm just hitting these hydrangeas with a little bit of regular spray paint. This is just regular spray paint that you'd use on anything. And I'm going to freshen up the wreath that I have on my front door because it looks springy and I think it looks pretty. And then I think I'm just going to take you around in my yard and show you how things are looking. I can even see that some mosquitoes are out. I'm telling you the truth. What you gonna do? But yeah, I'm gonna take y'all around in my yard and show you just the reality of wintertime. Here in Mississippi, I know that we're probably ahead of a lot of people in the United States. I know that people up north have had lots of snow and are probably still sitting under snow. And they'd probably love to see a little bit of greenery coming up. I'm going to take y'all around and show y'all a few of the things that we have going on here. A garden tour of sorts. I'm just doing a little bit of yellow, but it's not really like a bright canary yellow. It's just more like it's kind of like a limey yellow. So it really sort of mimics the color that these little lime hydrangeas are when they start to bloom. So it looks sort of natural. But I am really loving this yellow color. I'm craving some color this time of year. Sometimes I can be a little impatient. Like, spring, hurry up and get here. Summer, hurry up and get here. Fall, hurry up and get here. I don't know that I've ever really wished for winter. Poor winter. Unless you live somewhere where it snows a lot and you do like fun snow activities outside, winter is probably the least anticipated season. But yeah, I get impatient and I just have to remind myself there's a time for everything, Patty. And summer will be here before you know it. And you'll be hot and sweating and it'll be humid. And your flowers will be struggling and they'll be wanting water all the time. You'll have to be watering your stuff. So better watch what you wish for. I just think this blue is so pretty. Did y'all see that bee just buzz by? Yeah, we have some bees out. Just a while ago, I saw a butterfly on some winter blooming honeysuckle. And it smells so good, the honeysuckle does. and there were bees and butterflies on it. So something good is happening this time of year. With this garden tour, don't be anticipating yard of the month worthy content, because this is just how it is. If your garden is looking less than desirable right now, rest assured you are not alone. I'm right there with you, and I'm going to show you how mine looks. How about if we start the tour right here at my front door? Because this is probably the most colorful and brightest and most cheery something that you'll see when you walk up to my house. Now, I have my fern stands on either side of my front door, but no ferns yet. It's just not time. It's not the season. Just know that when the ferns are available, I'm going to buy some Kimberly ferns and put them in, repot them and put them in those fern stands. And I think that will be just so pretty. So anyway, the front door. This is a backed up view, and I'll just show you the yard, the lawn. Of course, we have some clover and winter weeds and stuff going on too, but that's to be expected. We have our boxwoods seem to have a little winter dieback, but they'll pull on through. These shrubs right here, these are dwarf Yopon hollies. This. And I thought that I did not like them very well. We have some more over here. They've been in this ground for probably 21, 22 years. And at one point in time, they were like this tall. When I was sitting on the porch, I couldn't even see over them to see who was coming down the driveway. But I asked Danny to cut them down, like with a chainsaw. And so they just look like nubs. But I'm telling you what, they came back and put out new greenery within, you know, they were growing again in a couple of weeks. They had new greenery on them. So I never have to water these. I mean, back when we planted them or had them planted 22 or 23 years ago, I didn't know anything about a yard and taking care of anything. So I bet we rarely even watered them. So they have just done really well. I do recommend them if you're looking for an evergreen. Dwarf Yopon holly. I don't know any kind of zone or anything like that, but they work for me here in Mississippi. Still have my little Valentine's flag up. This container is looking sort of pitiful. The kale or cabbage, whichever that is. It looks bad down here, but that up there looks pretty. Have a pansy. And we also have some more winter weeds, but see the little flowers that these winter weeds get on them? I think pollinators like that. So by not weeding at this point in time, I'm giving the pollinators something to eat during this scarce season. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. Remember, I think it was the last day of December, Danny and I planted a bunch of bulbs that I had forgotten about. Look, they're coming up. Here's some tulips. And this one is about to bloom. The sedum is putting out the little pretty little rosettes. I have some dianthus coming back. That's what that is. You can see the daisies coming back up. Look at this tulip. These are a dwarf azalea, some kind of encore azalea. Has like a red bloom. They're really pretty when they bloom. Look at these. Aren't these so pretty? Hyacinth. Danny and I planted several of these bulbs this year, and some of them came back from last year or the year before, whenever I planted them last. Look at that pink. Isn't that the prettiest pink you've ever seen? I just love it. And that one practically looks blue. All of these are coming up. These tulips are coming up. And here's a pot full of pansies that I planted late fall. They're doing really well. This is my gardenia. I showed y'all in the winter storm video. I said this is the first casualty because it was all just laid over. It was just so heavy with ice. But it popped right back up. Down here, this end of the bed, I have, that's Sweet William. I have some, this is Dusty Miller. I grew this from seed last year. Poor Dusty Miller. I forgot about it, and it sat on my side porch, neglected, not watered. I can't believe that it even made it through the summer. I mean, I watered it some, but just it was not on a routine watering schedule. It was hit or miss with me remembering to water it. But anyway, when I finally set them out, I said, well, I'm just going to put them right here. If they make it, it'll be a miracle. Well, look, they have survived, and hopefully they'll do pretty good this spring and summer. That's the New Look Dusty Miller. Here's some more Sweet William. Scorpio pine hollies. Now, I planted some sweet peas in here. I don't see any sign of them coming up yet. So, that may be a failure. That may be a failed crop. Some pretty daffodils. And here's another container with some pansies. And also the winter weeds. Just gonna leave them, you know, gotta feed the pollinators. A couple more daffodils, and look at that beautiful hellebore. Isn't that so pretty? Love that. I wish I had all kinds of hellebores. Here's another one over here. Just beginning to bloom. This is blanket flower that I winter sowed a couple of years ago. Gaillardia is what it's called, blanket flower. And I don't think it ever really died back this winter. And here's another one. It grows kind of tall and lanky. See, I put that tomato cage on that one to kind of hold it up. But yeah, it's coming back. This is the flower bed on the east side of my house where I added some more boxwoods in the fall. And some of them kind of suffered from the cold weather, but I think that they'll be okay. I can trim them up. There are my knockout roses. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back there you can see all the limbs that we have cut back and just sort of piled into this. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while to get all this cleaned up. And just being realistic. But there's a bright, pretty spot with the daffodils. This is a Japanese magnolia. And look, it's blooming. And it has lots of buds. I knew it was budded out before we had the cold weather, and I just knew that it was not going to bloom at all. But it persevered, And look, it's a miracle that this thing is even still standing. We had a tornado, or they called it high winds, a lot of years ago. And it really dang near tore this tree up. Look at there. It's whatever's living is, it really wants to be here. So I'm letting it. Isn't that pretty? I'm sitting here behind my little lime hydrangea bed. There they are. Just sticks right now, but they'll be beautiful this summer. And we have a French drain here. I'm just going to show you weeds. Yeah, all in this French drain, but look how pretty this weed is. This is henbit, you know, it's very common, and I think the pollinators like it. It's related to lamium. It's a type of lamium. And you know, we buy lamium at the nursery for ground cover and put it in our shady areas. And here's its cousin growing every chance it gets, and I try to pull it up. Isn't it crazy that we buy things that look like weeds and pull the weeds up that are free? This is the big oak tree that has lots of limb damage in it. This is what everybody's trees around here looks like now. So many limbs just, you know, hung up in the canopy of these trees. It's dangerous. Anyway, I'll risk myself and go in here and show y'all this beautiful hellebore. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. So healthy. It likes this spot. I don't blame it. It's unbothered over here. I have to remember that it's over here and come looking for it. That pretty yellow back there is the Florida anise, Florida Elysium, an anise shrub, and it is so pretty. You know, I have some others that I planted around outside my kitchen window, and they have not done as well as this one has. Of course, this one has been in the ground longer, so it's more established. Those others, they need some help. This is a sweet olive, evergreen. Look at that carex. So pretty. I mean, this is winter. It's been that pretty all winter. I tell you what, I don't even know why I bother or try to bother with flowers. I just need to get on the carex bandwagon and get all of it. This is another carex right here. It's pretty too. This is what I call my shade garden over here. I have azaleas. They bloomed really, really pretty last year. I hope they'll do it again this year. In this container, this pretty container, I have the carex. This is Everillo, I believe. And then I have a pretty hellebore. I need to groom that. That's real pretty. And then I have some daffodils over here under the magnolia. Those have pretty long stems. I think I'm gonna pick some of these to use them in a church arrangement for Sunday. 'Tis the season for daffodils. They're so pretty. And I have more coming up over here and around. Oh, here's one that looks a little different. Isn't this sad? This is in a Cuba. It's a good shade plant, but deer do like it. And they have eaten this one up to sticks. I have some lamb's ear. This right here is cast iron plant, and the deer have eaten that too. For y'all who don't have deer, that must be awesome. This is an azalea. This is still in my shade garden. This is Fatsia. And poor thing, I think I just need to give up on that. Back a couple of years ago when we had the really fast freeze in early December, and or I don't know if it was early December or what, but anyway, everything, it went from like 60 degrees to 20 degrees in 4 or 5 hours, and everything froze. Well, this thing I thought was a goner. But then in the spring it pushed back some growth and was trying to make a comeback, but I think it's just stunted. This is another Acuba that the deer, I don't guess they have found it. Stay hidden, my friends, stay hidden. This is an anise shrub, an evergreen, and I believe it's native. I believe both of those are native. I love me a good native plant. This green is my mountain mint. It's a native, and it is beautiful, and it smells so good, and it's one of my favorite things in my garden. And it will get to be, well, this is some of the stems from last year. You know, it'll get every bit of, 3.5 feet tall. I cut it and use it in flower arrangements. It's just pretty, and it spreads, which I'm glad. I hope it'll spread all over my yard. It's just so pretty, and the pollinators love it. So I'm glad to see that it's making a comeback this year. Under this pile of leaves and limb debris is an abelia shrub. Now they are evergreen, not like staunch evergreens, but it's just, its feelings are hurt because a limb fell on it during our ice, and it just has to regroup. But when it's time, I'll fertilize it and it'll surely rebound. Here's some more lamb's ear. Now this is a nandina. And people say that nandinas, oh, you can never kill nandinas. Nandinas are, the forever plant. Not for me. I love a nandina too. I think they're so pretty. And look at that. They will not do for me. I do not know. This is the tough hillside that's hard to garden on, even though I try. It's tough. And Danny and I planted some bulbs on this hillside. Well, it was the last day of December. And look, they're all up and blooming. Oh, I can't get that to focus. Hold on. Isn't that so pretty? Daffodils and paper whites. And assuming that's some more daffodils. Those are budded up. These are budded up. Oh, look. I have some cardboard here. I just got it out of my car and threw it on the ground right there because, you know, more flower beds I intend to make. And there are more daffodils under the cardboard. Glad I moved it. Golly, that makes me happy. This is Gara. And look, it's coming back. Daisies are coming back. Here's some more daffodils. Ooh, this is a pretty special type daffodil up here. Look at this. Is that the one that's replete, maybe? Is that the name of it? Oh, that's gorgeous. I'm glad we planted those. My nephew Joe Kelly gave me the bulbs. Thanks, Joe. They're beautiful. It's beginning to rain, so I'm going to wrap this February garden tour up. It's not a whole lot to look at. There's a whole lot to anticipate though, so that's good. And I want to end the video with the beautiful hyacinths that are blooming right now.